Today, we're going to crack open the black box of AI. We're going to look at the secret thinking styles that large language models use to solve problems. And hopefully, we'll finally get an answer to that one big question: why they can seem so brilliant one moment and then just bafflingly dumb the next.
You've definitely been there, right? You give an AI this super complex problem, and boom, it spits out a flawless, step-by-step solution. You're amazed. Then you ask it something that seems way simpler, and the answer is just total nonsense. So what is actually going on in there?
Well, some really groundbreaking new research suggests the answer isn't just about how big or powerful the AI is. Nope, it's about something much more specific: the thinking style it's told to use for a particular problem. Turns out, the strategy matters just as much as the raw intelligence.
To figure this all out, researchers decided to put 5 of these distinct thinking styles to the test. So let's think of them as 5 different contenders in a tournament, each one with a totally unique way of winning a fight.
First up in the ring, we have the classic chain of thought, or COT. This is the straight shooter. It tackles a problem by breaking it down one logical step at a time. No fancy footwork, just a direct A to B to C path to the answer.
Next up, we've got the efficiency experts: sketch of thought, SOT, and chain of draft, COD. Think of these two as the quick sketch artists. Instead of this long, drawn-out process, they just whip up a fast symbolic outline or a quick draft first. Their whole game is about getting to the point as fast as possible.
And finally, we have the grandmasters: tree of thought, or TOT, and algorithm of thought, AOT. Now, these are the heavy hitters. They don't just follow one path. Oh no. They explore multiple possible solutions all at once, branching out, weighing different options, and even backing away from dead ends. It's like a detective investigating every single lead simultaneously.
Okay, so we've met our 5 contenders. But how do you figure out which one's the best? Well, you build the ultimate arena, and you make them fight it out.
And they called it StyleBench. This isn't just a single fight. This is a massive AI gauntlet. They took our 5 thinking styles, ran them on 15 different AI models, everything from the little flyweights to the super heavyweights, and threw 5 types of really tough challenges at them. We're talking grade school math, tricky logic puzzles, common sense questions, and even a creative number game.
So after this huge, comprehensive tournament, the researchers dug into the results, ready to crown a champion. And what they found was really surprising.
The big takeaway is this: there is no single winner. The researchers said it perfectly. No single style is universally optimal. The best thinking style completely depends on the problem you're trying to solve and the AI you're using. So it's not about finding one champion, it's about picking the right fighter for the right fight.
So let's actually look at the tail of the tape. While the researchers tested tons of scenarios, we're going to look at 3 key fights that really nail this idea. First up, the straightforward grade school math problems. And look at this. For these kinds of math problems, our straight shooter, chain of thought, was the undisputed winner. Its simple, step-by-step logic was way more accurate. It just goes to show, for some problems, the direct path is absolutely the best path.
Okay, but what happens when you move from simple math to something that needs more abstract thinking, like logic puzzles?
Here, the tables completely turn. The winner, by a long shot, was Sketch of Thought, one of our speedrunners. Its short, symbolic approach was just much, much better for this kind of structured reasoning. It blew the other styles out of the water. All right, now for the final boss, a really tough, open-ended challenge like the game of 24. This is a puzzle that needs some real creative exploration. You have to use 4 different numbers to make the number 24. And for this one, only the grandmasters, the deep-searching tree of thought and algorithm of thought, could consistently find a way to win. Their ability to explore all those different paths was the key. The simpler styles, they just got stuck. They were locked into one path that, more often than not, just led to a dead end.
And this right here perfectly illustrates the core trade-off. On one side, you've got the power players. They win the really complex fights, but man, they need huge AI models and they burn through computing power. And on the other side, you have the speedrunners. They're incredibly efficient, they crush the structured tasks, and, get this, they can use up to 94% fewer resources on some problems. That is a massive difference.
But hold on, there's another really important layer here. It turns out that these super sophisticated thinking styles, they only really work if the AI is big enough to actually use them. The research showed a huge difference between the flyweights and the heavyweights of the AI world.
What the researchers found was that small models don't really reason. They just kind of ignore instructions, they mess up the format, and when they get stuck, they pretty much just guess. But the big models are totally different. They follow the rules, they show real systematic reasoning, and, this is crucial, they actually try to solve the problem even if they end up getting it wrong. This suggests that true reasoning might be an emergent ability that only really clicks on at a massive scale.
So what's the big takeaway from this entire AI tournament? Why does any of this matter for the future of artificial intelligence?
Well, this research basically hands developers a playbook. The goal is simple: build smarter, more reliable, and more efficient AI. And the strategy is to stop using a one-size-fits-all approach. By matching the right thinking style to the right task, you get way better performance with a whole lot less wasted energy.
But the researchers added one final really fascinating test. They wondered, what if we tried to teach an AI to pick the best thinking style for itself, to basically become its own coach?
The result was a huge surprise. The AI didn't learn strategy, it just mimicked what it had seen in the training data. It ended up picking chain of draft over 80% of the time simply because that was the most common style it was trained on. This shows a huge limitation. It was just matching a pattern, not actually reasoning about which tool was best for the job.
And this really shows us that while we're getting great at telling an AI what to think, teaching it how to think is the next great frontier. Which leaves us with the ultimate question: can a machine ever truly learn to think for itself?